So here we are into 5 weeks in of my ownership of Jacksonville Armada. As I outlined in that initial press conference, we had a lot of things to tackle, a lot of issues off the field that we had to address. The first thing I made pretty clear we were going to focus on was our TV broadcast. And I'm going to talk about the amazing successes we've had there. And now it's time to turn our attention to game day attendance. I know that's been a concern for a lot of fans. It's a concern for me as well. And I'm glad that we're finally at a point we can focus on that. So I want to go through what we've done so far. As far as the broadcast, we doubled the number of cameras we've got out here. We also took the broadcast from a digital channel that a lot of people had trouble finding to two of the top channels in the market between WJXT and the CW station. We came out great at our first home game with a 2.1 peak rating, which was about 20,000 people watching. And a 0.9 overall rating, and then we crushed that Wednesday night with the Puerto Rico game, doing a 3 peak rating, which is about 26,000 viewers, and a 2.1 overall average rating. And to put that into perspective for everybody, that 2.1 average rating is better than most NHL games, NBA games, PGA Tour events, and NASCAR events that are shown here in Jacksonville. So I think it shows there's a lot of demand for the sport, for soccer here in Jacksonville, and I think ultimately that's going to translate into amazing in-game attendance. We've just got to get there. When I first took over the team, we had less than 700 peak viewers on those local broadcasts on this TV, and again, we've now taken that number to over 26,000. So as we look at driving sponsorship dollars, as we look at TV revenue, because all of this revenue allows me to go out and get more players, spend more money on players, spend more money on facilities so that we can have the best possible product on the field. So the goal is to unite those three DMAs, drive as much viewership as possible, and then use that revenue to invest in players and invest in the on-the-field product. The other things we've been working on, again, so far we have not focused on actual attendance, but we have been working on the game day experience since game one. The first game, we brought in the big screen, the Jumbotron. I know that was a big hit with a lot of the fans. It wasn't something we had previously at games. I think it's done a lot to improve the game day experience. We've also upgraded the concessions. We brought in more choices. We put tablecloths on the tables, just a lot of things. The uniforms of the concessionaires, a lot of things to elevate the quality and appearance of the concessions. We made parking free, so this was a big one. I know for me personally, I don't carry a lot of cash, so the idea of having to dig out that $5 or $10 bill to pay for parking was a hindrance. So we went ahead and took care of the parking, made that free. We also brought in portable restrooms for tailgaters. I know everyone out there who was getting here early to tailgate, particularly Section 904, was struggling with having to run all the way over to the stadium to use the restroom. So we brought in portable restrooms that we put in the parking lot for tailgating. I know we turned a lot of heads when we announced our 780 attendance at the last game, lowest in team history and lowest for the league this year. The first thing I want to talk about is we are changing the way we report attendance. And so if you look at the new way we're going to be reporting attendance, the most people we've actually had in this stadium all year is only 2,201. And so I know that much larger numbers than that have been announced, and there's different schools of thought across different major league and minor league sports on how attendance should be accounted for. And we're looking at all that. And my thing is I want to give a more accurate and as accurate picture as possible to fans, to sponsors of how much engagement we really have. And so the idea for me that we could print out 1,000 tickets, and those 1,000 tickets were free, and they could land in a desk drawer somewhere or land in a trash can somewhere, and then report that as attendance, just didn't sit well. We've still got a lot of work to do. I want everybody to understand just exactly how much work we have to do. And now we're turning all of our resources and all of our attention and our focus on driving that attendance number up. A lot of things we're working on to try to improve that game day seating experience as well and to augment the stadium here at Hodges. And so as we now focus on this attendance, and we now focus on using our marketing technology stack, our digital advertising capabilities, our TV, our radio, our sales teams across all the different Robert Palmer companies. Everyone's going to be shifting their focus now to driving attendance. While I don't believe we can fix this in a single game, I am very confident that by the end of the year, we'll see significant gains in attendance. And then from there, we've got the entire offseason to focus on next year's attendance, to focus on driving season ticket sales, to focus on driving and creating more excitement and buzz around town about the Armada, because that's what's going to drive this.